You know how some of the best games are the ones nobody's talking about? I'm that friend today, ready to share 21 underrated single-player games you might have totally missed. These are hand-picked favorites, hidden gems, not just some generic list. If you enjoy, consider subscribing for more chill gamer chats. Let's dive in.
What am I gonna do with this? I'm not bleeding. So where'd all the blood come from?
Twin Mirror. Imagine arguing with your own alter ego and actually needing his advice. Twin Mirror is a narrative thriller from Dontnod Entertainment, the Life is Strange devs, that takes you back to a small West Virginia town hiding big secrets. You play as Sam, an ex-investigative journalist coming home for a funeral and stumbling into a conspiracy. The atmosphere is all moody streets and neon-lit dive bars, but the real trip is inside Sam's head. He's got this mind palace where you literally reconstruct memories and crime scenes, making you feel like a detective Sherlocking his own brain. And Sam's inner voice, a slick-dressed imaginary friend, constantly offers advice or sarcasm, so you're never truly alone with your thoughts. It's a shorter adventure, but with multiple endings shaped by your choices. My take? Underrated gem. It's like binge-watching a tense mystery series, except you're in it.
Now let's see if I can figure out what happened last night. At least, what happened in my room. Let's start things with a simple hypothesis. Run through things.
And I screamed until my throat began to burn. The candles started to run out, as did the batteries in my torch.
Song of Horror. So unraveling a mystery with your imaginary friend was a little too safe? Fine, let's turn off the lights. Song of Horror is an indie survival horror by Protocol Games that absolutely nails that old school dread. Think fixed camera angles, creaking mansions, and a cursed music box melody that haunts your dreams. The story spans multiple episodes and characters, so yes, people are basically lining up to get scared to death. You start as a guy searching for a missing writer, and soon you realize an entity called the Presence is stalking you. What's wild is the game adapts. No two scares are exactly the same, and if a character dies, they're gone. Permanently. It's brutally tense. I found myself literally holding my breath along with the character during nerve-wracking hide sequences. Song of Horror doesn't just resurrect classic survival horror, it makes you remember why you loved it, and simultaneously wonder why you're doing this to yourself.
I've got to block it.
Mad Max. After all that tiptoeing in the dark, you might be craving some full-throttle mayhem. Mad Max is an open-world action game from Avalanche Studios of Just Cause fame that dumps you in a sun-scorched post-apocalyptic wasteland and says, "Good luck, road warrior." As Max, you roam a desolate desert with your trusty scrapyard on wheels, the magnum opus, and a zealous hunchback mechanic riding shotgun. The world feels brutally cinematic. Endless dunes, rusted fortresses, and savage marauders at every turn. One minute you're engaged in thunderous car combat, slamming raiders off the road and harpooning car doors off hinges. The next you're brawling on foot with bone-crunching punches like a one-man thunderstorm. There's a surprisingly deep upgrade system too, so I spent hours scrounging scrap just to give my car cooler spikes. Totally worth it. It's an underrated gem that lets you live out your Fury Road daydreams, complete with the dust in your teeth.
What's that?
I want to hurt you.
BLACKSAD Under the Skin. For a complete change of pace, swap desert dust for cigarette smoke and neon-lit alleyways. BLACKSAD Under the Skin is a noir detective adventure from Pendulo Studios, with a twist. In this 1950s New York, every tough cop, femme fatale, and corrupt mobster is an anthropomorphic animal. You play John BLACKSAD, a hard-boiled private eye, who also happens to be a black cat, because why not? The case starts with a boxing club owner found dead and a starfighter gone missing, and it spirals into a deep, jazzy crime saga. The world oozes atmosphere, jazz music humming in the background as you search for clues in smoky bars and rundown gyms. Gameplay is all about sleuthing, finding evidence, making tough dialogue choices, and occasionally surviving a quick-time brawl. Honestly, it's like Zootopia got dropped into a Scorsese flick. Weird at first, but soon you're utterly hooked by the mystery. Underrated and undeniably cool.
I regret it on a guy like him. But at least I bought enough time to aim at his soft spots.
Hi there.
Kenna Bridge of Spirits. Time to trade gritty city streets for a lush, magical forest. Kenna Bridge of Spirits is an action-adventure from Ember Lab that basically lets you play a Pixar movie. It's that gorgeous. You play as Kenna, a young spirit guide armed with a staff and a lot of heart, helping restless spirits move on. The world feels alive, ancient villages overrun by nature, glowing forest shrines, and adorable little critters called Rot trailing you. They're cute, but also handy. You'll command them to solve puzzles and gang up on bad guys. And don't let the cutesy vibe fool you. Combat can get surprisingly tough, with fluid staff whacks and a satisfying spirit bow that packs a punch. The whole journey oozes charm and emotion. I'm not saying I teared up once or twice, but I'm also not denying it. Kenna is a beautiful, heartfelt gem that deserves way more love. Murdered Soul Suspect. Alright, enough warm fuzzies. How about solving a murder from the other side of the grave? Murdered Soul Suspect lets you play a detective in Salem who literally gets thrown out a window in the opening scene. Yup, you're dead in the first 5 minutes. But death is just the beginning. As ghostly gumshoe Ronan O'Connor, you set out to hunt down your killer. Salem is a foggy town full of lingering spirits and dark secrets. You'll chat with other ghosts and investigate crime scenes no living cop could. Gameplay is unconventional. Walk through walls, possess people to read minds, and piece together clues only a phantom can find. There are even demons lurking that you must stealthily evade or banish, because being dead doesn't mean you're off the hook. It's a story-driven mystery with a seriously cool premise. Being a snarky ghost detective is way more fun than it has any right to be. Definitely worth a look.
Playing it.
Returnal. Switching gears from ghostly Salem to a high-octane alien nightmare. Returnal from Housemarque crash lands you on a hostile planet stuck in a time loop. You're astronaut Celine, and every time you die, you wake up back at your wrecked ship. No escape, just an ever-changing world full of alien creatures that want you dead. The atmosphere is intense, eerie, rain-soaked forests and haunting ruins punctuated by neon bullet hell storms of projectiles. Combat is lightning fast. You're dashing through enemy fire, swapping wild sci-fi weapons on the fly, and hoping for a lucky power-up drop before the next boss. It's tough, no doubt, but that just makes each hard-earned win a fist-pump moment. My heart was pounding so hard after one particularly clutch run, I had to remind myself to breathe. If you're up for a challenge and a bit of psychological mind-bending on the side, Returnal will hook you in a just one more run loop you won't regret. Sleeping Dogs. After barely surviving alien death loops, let's get back down to Earth. Hong Kong's underworld. Sleeping Dogs from United Front Games throws you into a vibrant open-world Hong Kong that plays out like a martial arts crime thriller. You are Wei Shun, an undercover cop walking a razor's edge between duty and the triad gang he's infiltrating. The city feels alive. Night markets, neon clubs, narrow alleys where trouble finds you quick. And the combat absolutely shines. Instead of generic shooter fare, you've got martial arts mayhem. countering thugs, vaulting over tables, and slamming enemies into anything handy. Yes, even aquariums. Sure, there are high-speed car chases and gunfights, but the bone-crunching hand-to-hand brawls steal the show. Somehow, Sleeping Dogs balances its intense crime drama with goofy fun. You can even belt out karaoke, and it all just works. It's the best Hong Kong action movie you can play. An underrated sandbox that deserves a second look. Bright Memory Infinite. What if you distilled an action blockbuster down to its craziest hour? Bright Memory Infinite is exactly that. A pure high-octane FPS/melee hybrid that barely lets you blink. Oh, and it was mostly made by one person, FYQD Studio. You play a special agent in a near-future world where a science experiment gone wrong starts pulling ancient warriors and monsters into the present. The plot is nuts and totally secondary. You'll be too busy slicing and shooting to care. 1 second you're mowing down enemies with an assault rifle. The next you're deflecting bullets with a sword and grappling across a collapsing sky bridge. The combat is flashy and lightning fast. Think Devil May Cry meets Shadow Warrior in first person. It's a short ride, sure, but it's a blast while it lasts and looks stunning to boot. If you need a quick adrenaline fix that shows off what one dev's passion can do, Bright Memory Infinite delivers the spectacle.
This weather. I'm pretty sure the ship's insurance won't cover alien storm damage.
Hey,
The GUNK. After all that intensity, let's slow it down and do some cleanup. The GUNK is a laid-back sci-fi adventure from Image & Form where you play as Ronnie, a space scavenger with a power glove that literally vacuums up alien sludge. Trust me, sucking up goo is way more satisfying than it sounds. You're on a gorgeous but polluted planet blanketed in a strange gunk that's choking the life out of everything. As you clear the muck, the world blooms back to life before your eyes. Plants regrow, colors return, waterfalls flow again. The gameplay is relaxed and exploratory. Some light puzzles, a bit of platforming, and very mild combat, mostly shooing away little blob creatures. The real draw is the atmosphere and the banter between Ronnie and her partner Bex, which gives the game a cozy, buddy adventure feel. The GUNK isn't about adrenaline, it's about taking a small, polluted corner of the universe and making it beautiful again. Surprisingly therapeutic, and definitely overlooked by a lot of folks. Days Gone. Feeling nice and relaxed after cleaning up alien goo? Good. Days Gone is here to get your heart racing again. This open-world action game by Ben Studio drops you into post-apocalyptic Oregon crawling with freakers, fast, feral zombies that swarm by the hundred. You play as Deacon St. John, a biker drifter just trying to survive with his bike. The world is as beautiful as it is deadly. One moment you're cruising through serene pine forests, the next you're caught in a downpour with a horde on your tail. Gameplay throws everything at you. Tense stealth takedowns, brutal melee brawls, frantic shootouts, and high-speed escapes on a bike that always seems low on gas. Pro tip, you do not want to run out of fuel out there. And despite all the chaos, the story packs an emotional punch. I unexpectedly grew to care about Deacon and his crew. Days Gone doesn't reinvent the wheel, but it's a big, rough, heartfelt ride that far too many people slept on. Don't be one of them.
Analyzing ballistic evidence. Weapon recognized. Semi-automatic pistol.
Get Even. After roaming the open roads, let's detour into something truly mind-bending. Get Even is a first-person psychological thriller from the Farm 51 that messes with your head. You wake up in an abandoned asylum with a bizarre VR device strapped to your face, one that lets you relive memories. You're Cole Black, a mercenary trying to remember a botched attempt to save a girl from a bomb. A mysterious voice called Red guides you deeper into this rabbit hole of fragmented memories and twisted experiments. Gameplay blends exploration with investigation. You use a smartphone scanner and UV light to solve puzzles and uncover clues. There's some combat too. You even get a gun that shoots around corners. But the real hook is the story. It's full of reality-bending twists that keep you guessing. Get Even flew under the radar, but it's moody, clever, and kept me second-guessing every step. If you enjoy being a detective in a trippy thriller, this hidden gem is worth digging up.
Drug deal gone wrong. But that's not what you believe.
I believe everything in life is connected, Mr. Black. The only question is how. Let's find out, shall we?
Moons of Madness. Think some fresh air on Mars would be nice? Think again. Moons of Madness will quickly change your mind. This first-person cosmic horror game by Rock Pocket Games strands you on a Mars research base where things go from routine to nightmare. You're Shane, an engineer just doing maintenance work when a mysterious signal and unsettling visions start driving you, and the rest of the crew, a little mad. The atmosphere is pure Lovecraft meets sci-fi. Sterile station halls morph into scenes of tentacled horrors, and you question what's real. Gameplay is mostly about fixing equipment, solving techie puzzles, and desperately trying to keep the lights on while subtle, and not so subtle, terrors unfold around you. Sure, there are a few jump scares and chase sequences, but this game mostly excels at slow burn dread and crushing isolation. I finished with sweaty palms and a newfound appreciation for my quiet, monster-free bedroom. If you're into cosmic horror, Moons of Madness is an underrated gem that'll slither right under your skin.
In accounting from an online college that may have stolen my credit card number?
You'll figure out what you want. You have time.
Tell Me Why. After that cosmic mind trip, let's come back down to earth for something more heartfelt. Tell Me Why is a narrative adventure from Dontnod that trades horror for a family mystery in small-town Alaska. Twins Tyler and Allison reunite after 10 years to pack up their childhood home and end up confronting a long-buried family secret. The twist? They share a supernatural bond. They can communicate telepathically, handy for sneaking in sibling snark, and even relive their memories. But their recollections don't always agree, and choosing which version of events to trust is a key part of the game. It's a pretty chill experience. You explore scenic, woodsy locales, solve a few puzzles, and make dialogue choices that shape the outcome. It's a low-key, emotional ride tackling themes of identity, grief, and forgiveness. By the end, these twins felt like old friends to me. If you're in the mood for a poignant, character-driven story, Tell Me Why is absolutely worth your time.
Open sesame.
Let me guess. It's locked.
Yup. Know any other secret passwords?
Honeydew? Nope.
Remember how mad she'd get if we didn't use the compost?
And she always knew when we were lying.
Waste not, or kiss the planet goodbye.
You need a hand with that?
No, it should be fine.
Okay.
If we just get this board out of the way, I could probably squeeze through.
Chernobylite. We've done feelings. Now let's talk pure survival in one of the harshest places on Earth, Chernobyl. Chernobylite is a survival horror RPG from the Farm 51 that throws you into an eerily authentic Chernobyl exclusion zone. You play Igor, a scientist returning to the zone to find his missing fiancée. It's not just scavenging and avoiding radiation. There's a sci-fi twist. A mysterious substance called Chernobylite opens rifts in reality, unleashing paranormal phenomena and things that shouldn't exist. You'll scavenge and build a base with fellow survivors by day, then creep through off-limits facilities at night, taking out hostile soldiers or otherworldly horrors. It's a unique blend of survival sandbox and narrative thriller. You choose missions, make tough moral calls, and decide when to launch a high-stakes final heist. I loved having the freedom to plan each day, and that constant eerie atmosphere kept me on edge. If you crave a stalker-like adventure with a sci-fi twist, Chernobylite is a seriously underrated gem that deserves a shot. AER Memories of Old. After all that radioactive tension, we deserve a zen break. AER Memories of Old is an indie adventure that's more about wonder than challenge. Picture a shattered world of floating sky islands, ancient ruins, and endless clouds lit by starlight. You play as Auk, a girl who can shapeshift into a bird at will. With a tap of a button, whoosh, you're soaring through the sky, diving around crumbling temples and gliding over waterfalls. There's no combat, no frantic chases, just the calming freedom of flight, and a few light puzzles as you explore the ruins of a lost civilization. The art style has a minimalist beauty, pastel low-poly landscapes that feel like a living painting, and the music is so soothing I'd sometimes stop just to listen. AER is short and sweet, and it left me with a warm sense of wonder. If you need a breather from intensity and want to zen out in a beautiful world, this hidden gem is the perfect escape. Bladed Fury. Alright, enough Serenity, grab your sword, because Bladed Fury will get your adrenaline pumping. This slick 2D hack and slash from Next Studios dives headlong into ancient Chinese mythology. Think beautiful hand-drawn art meets lightning-fast combat. You play as Princess Ji, a wronged noble on a revenge quest after her family's overthrown. The story riffs on Chinese legends. You'll cross paths with mythic beasts and vengeful gods, and probably slice them all to ribbons. Combat is buttery smooth. Dash through enemies, juggle them mid-air with combos, parry deadly blows at the last second, and unleash special powers stolen from bosses. It nails that classic arcade action feel, wrapped in a gorgeous painting-like aesthetic. Vivid colors, flowing ink effects, and a killer soundtrack to match. Bladed Fury isn't long, but it doesn't waste a second. I finished with a huge grin and pleasantly sore thumbs. If you're into fast-paced action or just appreciate beautiful art with your carnage, Bladed Fury is a hidden gem that's well worth your time. Little Hope. Ready for another round of chills? Little Hope is basically a playable horror movie where your choices decide who survives. Developed by Supermassive Games, creators of Until Dawn, it strands a college class, students and their professor, in an abandoned New England town with a dark past. One foggy night, their bus crashes, leaving them stuck in Little Hope, a place haunted by its 17th century witch trial history. You'll explore creepy woods and deserted streets, uncovering clues about the town's curse while ghostly apparitions from the witch trials stalk your group. Along the way, you face split-second decisions and quick-time events, and any mistake can be deadly for a character. One wrong move and your favorite might not make it. It's tense, cinematic, and best played with the lights off, with a friend to share the screams. Little Hope didn't get the same spotlight as Until Dawn, but if you dig branching horror stories where every choice counts, this overlooked chiller is worth a playthrough. Prey. If ghost towns didn't scare you, try a deserted space station where even the coffee mugs might kill you. Prey is an underrated sci-fi horror shooter from Arcane Studios that'll have you side-eyeing every object. You wake up on the Talos I station to find shape-shifting aliens, the Typhon, have overrun it. You play as Morgan Yu, a scientist who must survive, learn what happened, and maybe save mankind. The atmosphere is tense and eerie. Gleaming Art Deco labs are now dark, blood-stained, and full of things skittering in vents. Gameplay is flexible. Go in guns blazing or get creative. Hack turrets, crawl through vents, craft gadgets, even absorb alien powers. Yes, you can turn into a coffee mug to sneak past enemies. It's basically a sci-fi MacGyver sandbox that rewards inventive problem solving and exploration. The story is mysterious and your choices shape the ending. If you want a deep atmospheric adventure that'll keep you paranoid and enthralled, Prey is a must-play that far too many people missed. ONINAKI. For something completely different, ONINAKI is a soulful action JRPG all about life, death, and rebirth. It's from Tokyo RPG Factory and offers a beautiful melancholy adventure that many people missed. In this world, reincarnation is the norm, and as Watcher Kagachi, you guide lost souls to the next life, sometimes by force. The story explores grief and letting go through characters with surprising depth for a JRPG. Combat is a fast-paced hack and slash, where you wield supernatural demons as living weapons you can swap instantly. One moment you're cleaving with a giant axe demon, the next you're darting around with dual blades. Each brings a distinct fighting style. It all feels fast, fluid, and fun, even as the narrative tugs at your heartstrings. ONINAKI is a unique gem that didn't get the attention it deserved. If you're up for an action RPG that makes you think about life and loss between monster battles, give this one a try. Submerged Hidden Depths. To wrap up, let's end on a tranquil note. Submerged Hidden Depths is a combat-free exploration adventure from Uppercut Games that proves not every game needs danger to be engaging. Picture a post-apocalyptic world where cities have sunk into the ocean and vibrant greenery swallows the ruins. You play as siblings Miku and Taku who explore the flooded ruins by boat at a leisurely pace. By day, you climb crumbling skyscrapers, solve light puzzles, and collect relics of the old world. By night, you lounge on your boat under starry skies as a soothing soundtrack plays. There's zero combat or death. The biggest threat is maybe getting a bit lost while searching for the next landmark. The developers call it relaxploration, and it truly nails that vibe. Playing on a lazy Sunday felt like a mini interactive vacation. If you're in the mood for a chill, gorgeous world to get lost in, no stress, just discovery, Submerged Hidden Depths is the perfect game to unwind with. That's the list. Hopefully you found a few new games to check out. If you have your own underrated gem to recommend, feel free to share it in the comments. If you enjoyed this, drop a like and consider subscribing for more videos like this. Thanks for watching till the end. I really appreciate it. Until next time, happy gaming.